just start. You need to write it down. Like, this is what I want to achieve. You need to talk about it, okay? So, because start running, join a running club. Some of these things don't actually cost money, okay? So, get help. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kofo and I'm a 22-year-old registered nurse in the ICU living in Vancouver, Canada. And if you're new, welcome. So, if you guys watched my last video, you know that I started a series on how I'm becoming her in my 20s. And I spoke about my dream woman values. I was basically defining what the values that my dream woman would embody. And if you guys haven't watched it, click the video and watch it. I think it'll be somewhere here. If it's not linkable, but there'll be like a picture or something. But I'll probably put the link in the description below. So yeah, let's get into the video. So today I kind of want to talk about what I've been doing throughout the week to become her, right? Like, have I actually been taking steps to become her and stuff like that? So, I will talk about investing in myself and practical tips in 2025 to become your dream woman, okay? So, yeah, the first thing I did this week and I prioritized was my fitness goals. So I started tracking my fitness, tracking like my steps and all of that. And one thing I realized was my VO2 max is really low. So if you guys don't know what VO2 max is, VO2 max is the amount of oxygen your body uses while you work out or exercise. And yeah, it was low. So I was like, you know what, that's something I'm going to try and work on this week. So what was the first thing I did? Book workout classes. Yeah. My first instinct is always to spend money, but that's bad. I'm trying to change. But at least it's an investment. So yeah, I booked workout classes. I booked a an actual Pilates class. So I've tried Mega Reformer, Liguri, stuff like that, but I've never tried actual Pilates. I also booked a spin class, Spin Society, really good. I also booked a hot Pilates class with bands and weights, and very, very good. Like the Pilates class was so good. The spin class, awesome. That's something I'll be doing every week because I think it's going to get me closer to my fitness goals. And then the hot Pilates with bands and weights, I need to do every week. But that class is so far to me from my house. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to look for more workout classes to try that would be closer, like something similar to the hot Pilates I tried. Yeah, so far I've done Legree in Vancouver. I've done like a movement class, like a hot Pilates as well, but movement. I've done the hot Pilates with bands and weights, the Spain class, and the Pilates class. So yes, that's how I've been trying to achieve my fitness goals, just trying out workout classes. Another thing for me is nutrition. Yes, I've been there. I've done tracking, like trying to track my nutrition, like my food calories and stuff like that. It didn't work for me. Yeah, it made it worse. So for me, I've just been doing like a rough estimate. So I've been focusing on my protein, intake. I've been focusing on prioritizing healthy whole foods while also not being too strict with my diet. I've heard a lot of fitness people talk about the 80-20 rule. So basically it's 80% whole foods and 20% could be like going out, eating like snacks, candy, stuff like that. And I've been trying to implement that. So I actually want to briefly talk about my fitness goals and why I'm doing these workout classes and nutrition and tracking. So first things first, I do want to work on my cardiovascular health. I've realized that my cardiovascular health isn't the best, so I want to be more fit. So for me, that looks like walking, doing all these workout classes, and branching out, trying different kinds of workout. Another fitness goal of mine is to tone and look more lean. So yes, I'm trying to achieve that by like throughout with the workout classes I've done so far. I know that the spin class and the hot Pilates with bands and weights. I'm probably a strength resistance, like strength training would get me closer to my fitness goals. So that's, I'm trying to implement that into my routine. So increasing my VO2 max. So I'm currently low. I want to get to average or above average. And I've already gotten to below average this week. So that's an achievement because it's low, below average, average, and above average. So that's the first thing, increasing my VO2 max. The second thing, look lean, yes, and toned. And then the third thing is to work on my nutrition. So eat more whole foods, protein, and stuff like that. The second thing I worked on this week is my appearance. So, as you guys, if you guys know me or if anyone knows me, I'm not really a hair girl at all. Like, I just do braids and call it a day. So, and I'm also not really a wig person. So, I was like, how can I meet in the middle? Okay. So, I decided to do a seaweed weave. Yes. I like it, but it doesn't look the best right now because I'm still waiting for the stuff to help with the curls and stuff like that. That's how you know I don't do weaves. I don't. But yes, so I'm doing this because I'm wanting to kind of see what hairstyle suits me, what I like, just experimenting. Because that's the time to experiment, okay? In your 20s, I'm not saying you can experiment in your 30s, 40s, 50s, but it's just nice to kind of know yourself on time as quick as possible. Another thing I'm working on is jewelry, accessories. So this week I went to Majuri, it's a jewelry store, um, and I like just got some little accessories. I just got this link bracelet, earring. Yes, I'm just trying to accessorize more because I know that that just adds to the look. I'm very like simple and casual, so I know wearing jewelry more is going to elevate my look. Yeah, and that's all I did to work on my appearance this week. Obviously, I did other things like skincare, but that's the new thing I've been implementing into my goals. Then the third thing is my health, sleep. Been tracking my sleep as well. I've been trying to get at least 6, 7 hours. Can be rough sometimes, but I've been meeting that, which is really good. And also my job, sometimes I do work night shifts. So yeah, it can be very rough with the sleep, especially when I just come out of a night shift. Remember, I spoke about cardiovascular health. For me, that's part of my health. So how have I been working on that? I've been walking more, because walking does help with your cardiovascular health. Because the more you exercise, the more you walk, it helps with your heart rate. Your heart rate is not as high when doing exercises. It brings your heart rate down. The more you exercise, and that helps with your cardiovascular health because it means that your heart is not working so hard while you're exercising or something like that. Um, Another thing is nutrition, like I've spoke about. So for me, fitness and health ties in together, right? But nutrition wise, I have been trying to eat more whole foods, and I'm not going to talk too much on that since I've already spoken about that. Then the another thing for me is multivitamins. I'm wanting to start like implementing vitamins into my routine. So I currently take vitamin D and I know it helps with like immunity and stuff like that. I don't even take it frequently, but that's something I'm working on. And then I also want to implement iron because yeah, I don't even know if I'm iron deficient. Another thing I want to do is do more checkups, because I don't really do that. So I think that's something I need to start doing. But I didn't do that this week though. But those are my goals. So implement more vitamins, take more vitamins. I think only if it's necessary. Check up. But something I implemented this week was nutrition, which I'm proud of. And then the fourth thing I worked on this week is my finance. So if you guys watched my last video, know I spoke about how budgeting is a weakness of mine. I'm very scared to take a look at my finances and actually see what I'm doing wrong. So, first things first, I watched a lot of podcasts and videos on finance, and it was so overwhelming, and I was so worried. I was like, I'm doing everything wrong. I'm so horrible. But no. Um, But one thing I realized is balance, guys, balance. Because these, at the end of the day, all this advice you see is so broad. It's not specific to your situation. First things first, I just moved to a new country, so I'm not expecting to save thousands of dollars yet. Okay. So I'm just being giving myself grace in that aspect. But I did budget. I budgeted this week, and I will show you guys my rough budget. It wasn't anything fancy. But yes, I did budget. I took a look of my March expenses and kind of the average I spend on a month to month basis, like grocery, utilities, stuff like that. And I did create a budget and like what a realistic budget of the amount I want to spend on these things every month. So that was very nice. And I've also started investing, which is good because I have goals on that as well. And there are like investment platforms you could use to help you invest. And I would advise like reading on these things, like I said, watching podcasts, finances, or finance channels and stuff like that. So yeah, there are platforms like Vanguard, Charles Schwab. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And I think Wealth Simple. Don't take my word for it. I'm not a finance girl, but there's so many videos and channels on YouTube that talk about finances. Another thing I'm trying to do more is save. It's very hard again because I'm furnishing my apartment. I just moved to a new country, moved into a new apartment. So yeah, all of that is expensive. Um, but yeah, so I spoke about balance. For me, I'm a big believer in balance, right? Enjoying yourself, doing what you love, making yourself happy, but at the same time thinking about your future and caring about your life. Okay. So yeah, it's all about balance and just implementing what works for you and doing what works for you. But being realistic and just being truthful with yourself. So another thing I actually want to talk about is what I was struggling with this week. So one thing I noticed I put on a back burner, I didn't consciously do that, but was on a back burner, was my spiritual life. And if you watched my last video, that's quite important to me, having a relationship with God. I think I was so caught up in all of this that I forgot to talk to God daily. So well, something I'm trying to do to achieve that is to schedule my time with God. Because something I realize is when I'm going to work, because I have to wake up early, I schedule my time with God and I get to do that. But on my days off, especially if I have stuff to do on those days, like I realize that my, you know, time with God, my Bible rest study is like on the back burner. So I'm trying to schedule my time with God by waking up early because I struggle with waking up early so bad. Like I'm such a night owl, but I can't use that excuse anymore. But yeah, that's something that I want to do better is my spiritual life. So having my time with God and just building that relationship with God on a more consistent level. But yeah, right now I do want to talk about practical tips because sometimes you're not financially in that place to do all of these things to become your dream woman, but don't let that stop you, okay? Don't let that hinder you guys. You can still work your way to becoming your dream woman. It can still happen even if you're not financially buoyant, you don't feel like you have all this money to spend on workout classes, on your hair or stuff like that. So my first tip I like to talk about is aside from defining your dream woman values, which I think you guys should go check out again, well, is to lay out your goals. What are your goals? What are you trying to achieve? What's your fitness goals? What's your spiritual goals? Your career goals? Things like that. You need to lay it out. You need to write it down. Like, this is what I want to achieve. You need to talk about it. Okay. So, cause I feel like when you actually know what you're trying to achieve and you're not just, you know, going blindly or doing things blindly or doing things because other people are saying you should do it, then you can actually be like, okay, these are my goals. How can I achieve it? So that's the second thing. How do you plan on achieving your goals? Right? So, for example, with fitness, if you can't afford to go to the gym or you don't have a gym, get a yoga mat or something. Watch Pilates on YouTube because those The mat Pilates actually help tone your body as well, and it does help with your fitness level. Go for walks, start running, join a running club. Some of these things don't actually cost money, okay? So do just write your goals down. How am I going to achieve those goals? That's number two. Number three is like finding resources to help you. So for me, I really recommend like podcasts, videos. Like there are people usually have podcasts or videos that they invite professionals, experts on these things, and they talk about it. You can learn so much from them. I've been doing that with my finances this week, and it's been so helpful. So I think just getting help, sometimes even going for exercise class or workout classes is good because you're actually getting help from a trainer. Yeah, because unlike going to the gym by yourself, sometimes you just don't even know what you're doing, like me. So yeah, another thing is like Pinterest boards, like mood boards. You could even create the like ones you put like picture boards and stuff like that. Um, yeah, I think that could be helpful as well because then you can visualize what you're trying to achieve and what you want your life to look like. Just start. Guys, when people say it, they're not actually there. It's not cliche. It's actually for real. Just start. Once you start, you just realize why you're just like why didn't I start? Okay, perfectionism is not real. You're never going to be perfect. You're never going to figure out every single thing you want to achieve, your goals, before you start. Like, cause sometimes I do that stuff. Like, oh, let me figure out my life first. Let me figure out everything and I'll start. No, just start because you're going to figure out so much and learn so much, you know, on the way to that goal. And it's not just a destination, it's also a journey. It's about growth, right? It's about challenging ourselves. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know what you guys think and what your goals are. Yeah, and I will see you guys soon. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.